No script, no nothing, no plan. Just gonna go on YouTube and look up screaming tutorials. I'd like to think I know a little bit about screaming. I've been in a couple of bands. Some of them are mid, some of them are pretty good. You like this? I know you like this one. This one's pretty good. Alright, we're gonna get started here.
Hello,
Hello.
I'm Adrienne from Seven Spires, and this is a crash course in the foundations of my extreme vocal technique.
Sick.
In other words, this is a how to scream video. Like misinformation going around that screaming is bad for your voice, or it can destroy your voice. And I've been doing this for years, and I never had any vocal incidents that were related to screaming. The troubles that I run to are from not sleeping enough.
Valid.
But that's another story for another time. Mac and cheese and watch Netflix in bed. But you open the door to your apartment, and it smells bad because nobody's taking the trash out, and all the dirty dishes are in the sink. And you just walk in, and you're like... Just
alright, I believe I know where we're going with this one. Gonna be some false chord activation from sighing. Just a thought.
this deeply annoyed sigh. So we take this sound and we extend it. So we go and that's the foundation of my scream sound. From here
if you're just starting out, that's perfectly fine, but like I assume she's going to go further into it and not just say that's the scream, because obviously that's not how that works. But like, if you're just beginning, that's a fine thing to start learning with. That's how I learned.
We need to do two things. Number one, we need to give the sound more breath support. And number two,
absolutely,
we need to open the mouth more. So if you're not...
I mean, yeah. I can see how that would be beneficial.
A nerdy technical singer like me, giving more breath support. In this context, try to imagine that you're trying to touch your belly button to your spine as you're exhaling.
That's a great way to put that, actually. Because a lot of people say use your diaphragm and breath support, but not a lot of people know exactly what that means, so they just think that being louder means that you're using more, when in reality, being louder isn't using your diaphragm, because you could be quiet and still use breath support from your diaphragm. I forgot where I was going with that, but yes.
So if you put your hands next to your belly button and exhale.
It's a very good warm-up too for if you're gonna go out and do vocals, recording or performing. It's a great exercise. Just W.
And if you feel your core muscles engaging and your stomach trying to go in towards your spine, you're probably doing it right.
Probably, yeah.
So if we take this feeling and we apply it to our extended like this. You can...
Yeah. I mean, she's doing it, so obviously it's working for her, but I would probably approach that just a little bit differently, because it feels like doing that you would just like power into it, when you really want to start from the ground up instead of start at the high and then go down. But like, that's not wrong.
You can hear when I turn the breath support on and off, more or less. The last thing we need to do is open our mouths more. So if you put your fingers in front of your ears and you open your mouth, you'll feel the jawbone moving under your fingers. It feels really weird, but we want that. We want that big open space, because it leaves more room for the scream to resonate.
Resonance chambers. We talked about that in the second to last video. I keep bumping my table and it's shaking all around. Resonance is a good thing and you need it, obviously, or else when you talked, the sound wouldn't go anywhere. You wouldn't get any buildup of your noise. It's a weird way to put it.
There are other scream techniques that don't require this shape. This is...
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, a lot of low screams that I do are just... You open your mouth up. That sounds really stupid without musical context, but like, yeah.
Like I said, the foundation of what I do. So, if we combine, elongate it, Give it more breath support. And we open the mouth more. There's the scream sound.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And if you want to begin adding words to...
I just realized my mouse was on the screen that whole time. I'm so sorry.
We're not going to say, I do not fear the darkness. We're going to think of it all as...
very experimental.
A column of breath punctuated very slightly by consonants. So it's going to, if I were to speak it without screaming it, but speak it in the way that my mouth would move while screaming it, it would sound like, I do not fear the darkness. Which...
That's pretty good technique for just general appeal when screaming. I know that there's a lot of other vocalists that really lean into the consonants. Can't name any, of course, because that would be too easy, but like, you know what I'm talking about.
Which sounds absolutely ridiculous, but I hope you understand what I mean. So again, elongated, more breath support, open mouth, and now, I do not fear the darkness.
That's a crazy sounding, like, that just sounds crazy. I should probably listen to the band that she's in, because that goes hard.
The most important thing is that you think of the column of air punctuated by consonants. This way you have less air leakage, and you are less likely to spend all your air in like, I do not fear, which sounds...
That's true. I did a lot of that, and it was not good. You got to keep a steady stream of air. So that's why when you like practice breath support, it's good to do the straw in a water bottle technique. I'm fresh out of water and I ain't got no straw, so I can't show you, but you know what that is.
I do not fear. Which sounds kind of sick, I get.
That could work. I wouldn't recommend doing that live because, like, you're going to run out of breath and you're going to tax yourself trying to get it back, and it's not going to be a fun time, but, like, that could sound cool in a song.
Yes, but it's hard for me to imagine getting very far into a set with this technique.
Exactly what I just said. Yeah.
So, that's it for my crash course in...
Very nice. That was straightforward. Pretty good information. Nothing that I could see was objectively wrong. I am picky about the information that I hold in my brain because, like, I don't know, I've experienced a lot in my in my time. Not that old. Very good. I'll give a like and a subscribe. I wish I could practice this without my family thinking I'm dying. That's also a different thing. If you are self-conscious about the things that you're doing, you're not going to get anywhere. You just got to power through that uncomfortableness. Make sure you're not disturbing anyone, but, like, come on. You're going to be all right. All right, on to the second video. That actually scared me. When you use your third mouse click on the YouTube and then you click on it, it immediately starts playing the video. So that was terrifying.
Hey, it's David here. In this video, I'm gonna show you one method of how to unlock your fry scream. So first, we need...
Wonderful, I love the enthusiasm. Also, I like this color palette, and I like that single hook there.
To understand what exactly is a fry scream. Well, there are two components.
Tell it to me.
To it. First, your vocal cords need to be closed with the proper amount of tension to...
Absolutely. If you get too much, it's going to sound robotic and you're going to hurt yourself. If you get too little, you're just going to be going, and that's not anything, and that's not helpful, and that'll probably damage your voice because you're essentially whispering with a lot of power, and whispering isn't good for your voice if you didn't know.
To the point where when you pass air through it, it makes a sputtering effect, like this.
Perfect way to put it.
In addition, you're projecting that air that passes through your vocal cords into the back, behind your soft palate, and into your nasal tissues.
I look like a freak, but trust me, let me cook.
So before
I mean, that makes sense, I guess.
Dive into exactly how to create a fry scream, I want to go over the #1 biggest misconception about fry screams. The most common misconception is that vocal fry...
There, okay, I completely forgot that was a thing. But yeah.
is the basis of fry screams.
It's not. It's a good warm-up though for getting that area ready, but it's very far removed. It's vaguely similar in the way that like a bear is kind of like a cat, but like not the same thing.
But that's not true. Yes, when you do this, your vocal cords are closed. However, they don't have enough tension. Your vocal cords are acting more like this instead of the correct way, which is like this.
Yup, that's exactly how it is.
And since a lot of people don't know this distinction, this leads to a lot of people taking the vocal fry sound and they're trying to make that louder.
Yeah, I've been there. Didn't work, obviously. I mean, you could kind of find a way to turn the vocal fry into a fry scream if it's like a super high head voice scream, like I mean, you could kind of do that.
Instead, aim to create fry distortion, which sounds like this.
I don't know if it's just the anatomy that's different from mine that I'm hearing, but like that sounds strange to me. It's considering he's made it this far. I'm sure he's doing it right, and it's just my brain being weird, but like that sounds a little off to me, but it's probably not. It doesn't matter.
Then make that louder, and then you'll have a fry scream.
I wouldn't say make it louder, because like screaming isn't any louder than like your talking voice. If you were to project more, I'm not going to demonstrate because it's nighttime. What time is it? It's 11:48 at night. But it's not that you're making it louder, it's that you're opening up your throat enough for the air to pass through and for your breath to be consistent and shoot forward while they're open so that you're projecting it. But like it is louder than what he was doing before. So yeah.
That's my fry scream.
That sounds pretty right.
So how exactly do you find fry distortion and then turn it into a fry scream?
It's such a struggle. Starting out, I've been doing vocals for like 7 years, give or take. I mean, I've been singing for longer, but like I didn't take it seriously because okay, we're not even gonna get you know what I'm saying.
Well, let's dive straight into it. How to fry scream!
Wasn't that what we were doing at the very beginning? Hold up. Chat, I'm slow.
Okay, so first, we need to figure out what it means to close our vocal cords.
Yeah, I did not understand what that meant. So I can see how you would need help in doing so.
Now, first, I want you to hold your breath like this. Now, did you feel that muscle or holding your throat closed?
It's right
that means that your vocal cords are in the closed position. Now, imagine that a little Oompa Loompa man punches you in the
Oompa Loompa man
stomach while you're holding your breath.
Vaguely. What do I mean vaguely? That's exactly what it is. I meant vaguely as in this image.
So if you hear a gargling noise that sounds wet, and if you feel some vibrations on your soft palate, then...
I mean, kind of, but I mean, like, it's gonna vibrate regardless. This is a crazy frame to pause on. I mean, hold on, let me just get out of there. Okay, that's a weird... I don't think... Unless I'm doing a technique in which I'm shooting it upwards, like the projection is it an upward way? I don't think I've ever, or like doing a mix scream, I don't think I've ever like noticed it, but it's probably happening.
There, practice and try and grow that gurgly sound and make it.
Yeah, a lot of people stop at when they first get the sound and then they try to project through it too fast before they have a sturdy foundation sound. That's what I did, and it's not good for you.
That louder. With practice, you'll build your compression.
Not louder, but breath support and projection. But I know where he's going, yeah.
And you'll make it louder and louder. And of course, you want to be using your diaphragm to push your sound.
Please explain what that means.
And by the way, the easiest way to tell if you're using your diaphragm is that when you breathe in, your stomach goes out.
Yes.
And your rib cage expands. And when you exhale, your stomach goes back in. So...
yeah, more or less, yeah.
Easy, right? Well, yes, but no. Here's the kicker.
It's not easy. This is a really difficult thing that we're all trying to learn here.
Every single person has a different relationship with their body.
Absolutely true, which is why a tutorial should be more of a general like overview of what it is, and then how you can find it depending on how you are. Which, I mean, has pretty much been the last two videos.
And as a result, there is no one size.
Absolutely, there is no one size fits all. You can find it differently for every single other person, but there are certain things that do work for most people. So if those don't work, maybe get a vocal coach, or just like research more. Maybe like research like physical anatomy and to see like what is in here and how you can maybe find a way to activate the certain things.
Size fits all approach to learning fry screams. I just showed you one of the many different ways to get into a fry scream. Next, there's this whole emotional journey that you'll
absolutely
likely need to go through in order to make it work. Chances are you're not going to get it on your first try.
But nope, not the first try. If it happens the first try, you are 1 in a billion for real.
But here's the secret. That's just part of the process.
Yup, 7 years. I didn't start sounding good until like last year. Pretty rough.
I wanted to give up so many times while learning.
I have seen this man's journey through this, and it was a very funny video, and it's very accurate.
And in fact, I have so much footage of myself sounding constipated and making my
same
voice hurt that it's unbelievable. You're gonna practice and fail, and things aren't gonna click right away, and you're gonna doubt whether or not you're capable of pulling it off. But that's completely normal. You
absolutely normal.
Need to trust in the process and
trust it. Don't give up. I see you ready to give up. Don't do it. I was gonna say don't do it yet, but don't do it. Don't ever give up. Never give up.
Put in the work, because when you finally do break through and pull off that first delicious, juicy fry scream,
it is so, what's the word? Is it lethargic? Is lethargy the good one or the bad one? Is it lethargic or cathartic? But it's one of those. Or it could be the other one if you're doing it wrong.
Not only will you have unlocked your fry scream, you'll realize that you're more capable than you think.
Absolutely. Oh, I was subscribed to my other account, but I'll resubscribe and re-like. Good video. All right, we got a couple more videos for you, for me and you.
Finding your high fry sound. To approach it healthily, let's start with releasing a very thin nasal sound.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how you could get
now
there.
Let's make it resonate a bit deeper into your throat while reducing the amount of air we push and making it almost a whisper.
That's a really good way to get there. That makes total sense in my brain.
I always give the example of the great Emperor Palpatine's sound. Jedi, dark side, Lord Vader. The difference is that we're trying to avoid the throaty sound, but keep a bit of that moist vibration going. Think of the...
It's true. When you fry scream, it's not going to be super deep set into your throat. You don't want the meat on the fry. You want the power.
Pressure that you're applying not as a loud and a direct sound, but more of a relaxed and a low exhale. Congrats, you can do
what?
black metal now.
I don't think that's a fry scream. Let me just go back.
Low exhale.
What? That's not right, my guy. He's going, yeah. That's not a fry scream.
Congrats.
That's not a fry scream, my guy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
You can do black metal now.
That's definitely how black metal vocalists do vocals, because they don't know how to do vocals. But like, he was cooking for a second, because I could feel it in my mind palace. I could feel what he was talking about, but then he went off the rails and did something completely different.
That you're applying not as a loud and a direct sound, but more of a relaxed and a low exhale.
Yeah, like that's totally right. But then he went, which is not a fry scream. I'm very upset. That ain't it, bro. That ain't it. Unk is not cooking. I'm so sorry. This one is such a classic video. I have seen this one before, and if you're watching this video, you've most likely seen this one. This is iconic, and I probably won't watch all of this. I'll just go through the cliff notes of it, but I think you'll see why. Oh, and I forgot to say, he made an updated video, a couple different updates, and on how this was not a great video if you're first starting out. I'll probably put that in the link in the description. Absolutely accurate.
Hey there, you YouTube metal.
He was so young. He was probably like 30 in this. He's getting old.
I'm Justin, and today I am going to show you 10 different screaming techniques.
10 different techniques
you can use for metal music. So hopefully you can at least get one of these techniques to work for you. That way you can be a vocalist for your band and everyone will love you. Quick.
Not everybody, but you know.
Disclaimer, I am not a professional. I've never taken...
This did age well, though. Actually, like, no cap, aged well.
Vocal lessons. I have no idea if these are fry.
Now he's a professional vocal coach. Isn't that crazy? 8 years ago. That's, okay, that makes sense. That was a long time ago.
Vocals or false chord or any of that. I don't care about any of that.
I'm really glad his attitude changed, because that's a really bad attitude to have going into this.
I just make noises, and if it sounds cool and it doesn't hurt me, awesome. That being said, let's get started. So we'll start as simple as possible. Easiest scream, in my opinion, to start with would be just basic middle scream, because your middle range...
What is a middle scream, Sir Justin?
...is probably your, most widest range in your vocal spectrum. What you're gonna do is you're just gonna pick a note in this mid-range, just like an ah.
Starting off as simple as possible, let's do a pitched scream.
And then you're gonna kind of compress your diaphragm, like tighten your abdominal muscles, almost like you're trying to do like a sit-up. But
that's also a good way to put it, because it's not as intense as trying to do a sit-up, but like it's pretty much there.
That note, so it's gonna be kind of like a So when
Bro is doing a fry scream. If you watch the updated video, you'll understand why I say that.
Doing your mid screams, you'll feel it in your throat a little bit, obviously, because the noise is coming out of your throat, but you should mostly feel it, in your chest.
No. I mean, when you scream, it's going to resonate here, but the sound is coming from here. He covered all of this in the updated video, so I'm just gonna look at a couple seconds of each one, because he redid this pretty much. So I feel like this is more of, from his perspective, this was more of a things to try if you can already scream, or if you're an intermediate vocalist and you're not a beginner, because realistically, not really any of these things are going to work if you're actually beginner. But like, this is all pretty good information if you already have a basis. I survive, so down I climb from one dark night and that spiral. So I fell. I love this song, by the way. We're gonna go on.
Your low scream sound would be to imagine that you're just like a big ass dog and you just, you know,
literally exactly how I learned.
And that's what's gonna create.
It sounds great though. He's definitely doing it right. Oh no, this part of the video.
Mess with it. If the exhale lows are not really doing it for you, you could always try inhale lows.
Yo, Chelsea Green is back. Don't do that, guys.
I don't know, it reminds me of that movie, The Grudge.
Or The Last of Us. I love The Last of Us.
So that they kind of push that forward, and then you just end up with this, like...
Goofy, I'm joking. Justin is goated.
The difference between number 2 and number 6, you have to project a lot.
He talks about this in the updated video on how this is a horrible idea, but I still want to hear it because it's funny.
This scream is really, really loud.
You really don't have to do that much. You're doing too much, Justin. You don't have to overproject. You can get the mouth positions and regular projection good enough to where you don't need to outdo it. Copyright. My bad.
I used to hear it a lot in metal music, and then I don't know if people just got sick of it, because it seems like I kind of fell off, and like you kind of really have to look
it's back
for it now. Not as many people do it, but it's the Brie. Of course, I'm going to show you 2 different ways that you can do the Brie, or also known as the pig squeal, whatever you want to call it. The first method is to literally scream the word Brie.
It's true. That E, that's a good vowel. A-E-I-O-U, or Y, depending on where you're from. Sorry. Vowels, good vowel to scream on. This one isn't really anything. He's just going, which is fine, but like, I don't know why you would do that. It's not practical, really.
Like, it just sounds like a fucking zombie. The best way to get this scream is
to not do it, because it's not a scream, so we're just gonna skip that. This goes hard.
Haven't quite mastered it yet, truth be told. Sometimes I totally nail it. Other times it's awful. The best example of me nailing it would be
cracking my neck.
Dine's channel. The first vocal.
Absolutely goated track. I'm so happy that they did more things in the 8 years that this came out in.
Contest that he ever did. That was me with the green hair. Around 2:06, you just hear this.
Bro has the time code memorized.
Noise, and it sounds really cool.
That is amazing. Bro is peak human performance.
A lot of people actually thought it was a pinch harmonic from the guitar, and other people thought it was an inhale. It's an exhale scream. It's the one that I'm about to show you. It's very...
I have tried to do this technique, and it... Bro. Take something else.
The scream sounds better if you do it into a guitar amplifier. Or
that is true. Don't be afraid to use effects, but I see you. Don't make that your whole thing, because it ain't gonna work. You'll never make it like that. Gotta do it the right way.
Crank up the gain on the mic, because then it boosts that distortion in it. So the way to produce this sound is it's going to come from the throat, and you're going to start...
everything that we've talked about here is coming from the throat.
So when you
Crazy,
do it,
bro.
If you don't know, it's when you're a guy, but you talk really high like this, like you're Mickey Mouse.
I love that he predicted, not predicted, because obviously Knocked Loose has been around for a while, but like, that was funny that he said this and then Knocked Loose got popular again.
Or you can also talk like this and pretend to be a pretty girl. Anyway, on my old channel, I used to have a vocal tutorial video, and I basically made a joke where I said, come on, you're not
I wish I could see that. That would be crazy.
gonna scream in your falsetto. But just in case you were curious and wanted to hear what a falsetto scream sounds like.
Literally Knocked Loose, bro. I one time did that as a joke. Yelling like Toad. All right. Thank you, Justin, for your participation. I've already liked and subscribed. Okay, we're on to the last video. You've been here. You've watched the whole thing. Thank you very much.
Without damaging your vocal cords. You know that.
Absolutely, that's the goal.
That nasty guttural sound that Will Ramos makes. First, nasty guttural sound that Will Ramos makes.
That doesn't sound like a false chord scream. That sounds like over projected glottal compression. Like that's what that. Don't do that. That hurts. I didn't even get to the how-to part.
First, we have to figure out the foundation of where that sound is coming from. How do we make it? We're going to start off with a sigh, but we're going to push down low into our diaphragm.
No. She's not. She was onto something in the beginning. She wasn't using the false chord part of the voice that would come from. She was using the true folds, which is one of the struggles with learning false chord screams, is accidentally using too much of your true folds, just going that's not false chord distortion. But we'll continue.
Even just setting aside 10 to 20 minutes a day practicing those deep sighs.
I wouldn't spend that much time in the very beginning. I would only try like in the smallest amounts possible, because for prevention of harm reduction. There you go. I would practice doing it as little as possible in the very beginning, so that if you do mess up, it's not going to have been enough to actually damage your voice. But if you do it wrong, you're still going to feel it afterward.
Eyes and working your way up into a guttural scream. You're sure to be able to master the...
Also, it's not a guttural scream, because a guttural scream is like that. That's what a guttural scream is, but nitpicking.
Technique and time without hurting your voice. Comment down below if you have any questions.
I've hurt my vocal cords, feeling for the day. I'm going to pick this back up tomorrow. Thank you so much. I'm working on a grindcore project, and it's what I needed. Very, very funny. Will Ramos nasal false chord growls are easy. Try doing the growls that John Davis does. What? Will Ramos nasal false chord growls. That's not even what she was talking about. But okay. Okay. All right. That's all. That's all I have. That's all I had open in my browser. If you want me to do this again, if you find any more that you think would be interesting for me to take a look at, you can comment them. I don't get many comments on my videos, so engagement. Comment something you want me to do, because I'm willing. I love making content and music and combining them. Listen to this, please. We worked very hard. Thank you. Also, this one's coming out soon. Very nice. Goodbye.